tell you that when I found out, I didn't know how to react about being a dad, but I will tell you this, that the stress was my wife telling me the minute I'm pregnant, we need a house, it gotta be somewhere else. We were trying to keep the finances in order.
I was 16 years old in high school, and my first love ended up pregnant. And I found out through her mom, who came by my house to tell my mom and dad that her daughter was pregnant. My son was born when I was a senior in high school.
Yeah, I like my story better. But
I remember I was a little older. I was over 21, I'm 23. And at the time, my wife had paged me when the pagers had voicemails. She says at the time, "Hello, Daddy, congratulations." And then, I smiled from cheek to cheek at the moment, but then some things started setting in. Some days are over. It's their time now.
Yeah.
For me, I was young, and I was excited. I don't know, I just wanted to be like my dad. I was just hoping I was going to be as good of a dad as my stepdad was. And I think that was kind of stressful.
For me, I was relieved because I had, I guess what would be rare, a planned pregnancy, and I was overworked.
I was pretty happy, but at the same time, I didn't even know what I was really happy about. The fact that I was going to be a father, or that I had somebody's life that I had to make sure I take care of, and they depended on me.
I mean, I just graduated from college, from undergrad, so I had all these aspirations and everything, and my wife was my girlfriend at the time. She was still in undergrad. So for me, it was just the sudden change and kind of dealing with, the anxieties, I guess some degree of trepidation that comes with that, and just figuring out how do we manage the situation. And, worked out well, so, it's a great woman, and things turned out well, so
That's good.
Can't complain about it.
Good.
I think the challenges is you never want your kids to make the same mistakes that you made. And there's times where you have to hide a certain level of pain even when they do make these mistakes. And you got to figure out, how do you convey that message to the kids that, listen, you messed up. You messed up. And how do you convey it without ripping them down, tearing them down, and tearing down their self-confidence and their self-esteem?
My son was raised with his mom, so I wasn't there in the house when he was raised, but we spent a lot of time together. Coached him in baseball, so I made sure that I kind of made up that time. But as he became a teenager and was more into his independence, it was hard for me to connect with him because he had his own friends, and because I wasn't living in the household, it was hard.
Being a barber, I have parents that bring their child here so that we could talk to them. So you almost feel like a extended father to talk to these kids, and you get them from 3 to 19. They want, you constantly gotta tell them about our past, our struggles, what's real, what's not real.
Yeah.
You just have so many competing factors. You got the street life, you got all this stuff that they think comes easy. My life is easy because it's not like, listen, I grew up in an era when you went to your house, and if I did something, your parents knocked me around because that's what happened. You didn't respect anybody in the neighborhood because they all had the right to grab you by your ear, pull you down, and say, listen, we're going to call you dad, sit down somewhere.
Yeah.
But very different now.
We don't really have neighborhoods, we got hoods.
Yeah,
That's the difference.
No longer,
No longer a neighborhood. If there's a playbook, it changes by the year because the environment changes.
I just I try to take a page out of, coach said it this way, Lance said it this way, Barber said this. I'm gonna take a little piece, bits and pieces, and then I think adapt it to our situation for each one of our kids.
I tell mine is real simple, and that is, what is the agenda? Just live by the agenda. So whatever advice that I give you, figure out what's my agenda. Whatever somebody else wants you to do, figure out what's their agenda.
Right.
There's an agenda in most people when they're asking somebody to do something. And if you figure out and you can decipher what their specific agenda is, then that should influence you one way or the other to either go according to what they want or go in the opposite direction.
I don't think it's a direct formula, but I think it starts with time. I was around my children a lot. You know, I insulated their world almost to the point of nausea sometimes, different cartoons and all that stuff. But I wanted to know what they was being fed mentally. So I insulated their world. I found out what they were doing. And also the time that we spent together, it built up trust. And I feel like they trust me to the point where they can always talk to me about anything.
Part of what Lance said about having an agenda, or seeing what people's agendas are. Another way I look at that too is, you know, what are the goals with this right here? You know, what are other people's goals? What are your goals? What is that decision you're making helping you achieve this goal? Because you know, there's going to be a consequence, and I think Lance had mentioned that too. There's going to be a consequence of whatever you do.
Absolutely.
You know, whether you choose to do A or choose not to do A, either one's going to have a consequence. So the question is, you know, what's the better choice? You know?
Kids are the kids as far as behavior hasn't changed. It's, you know, you go through, you know, through the beginning of time, and all kids act the same way. All kids learn the same way. It's basically the attention that they get, and I don't think that today's generation, the younger generation today, are giving the kids the kind of attention that they need to be healthy as far as their development as we got, and I think that's the big difference.
They come through the door. Don't tell Jack. What you mean?
They tell them themselves.
Exactly.
Just by saying that.
They tell them
Because
themselves.
you know why? Because kids, whether they're yours or somebody else's, they want guidance.
There they go.
They need
Absolutely.
guidance. They are
Yep.
looking for guidance, and you know it's up to us to guide them. However, we gotta guide them. If you gotta get your friend to relay the message to guide them, just so be it.
And also, what you were saying, it's the I generation. iPhone, iPad. Things are about self first. You know, it's all like a psychological ploy, I feel anyway, that they putting in the atmosphere. So everything is about you first, and it's not even about the child. You know, sometimes my son will be like, you know, why you don't get that and this and that? And I say, son, if I start getting all the things I want, what do you think is going to happen to the things that you want? Understand that. Like, I make the sacrifice willingly, and I don't think it's a lot of people who truly have embraced that in our community. You know what I mean? And it's not the fact that they don't want to, but they haven't matured to that degree.
You know, it's just how we all do it. We all do it differently, but the outcome is we want responsible, mature kids who grow up and be productive and know what life is about.
Right.
And don't forget where they come from, and just move forward and use that strength from the past to keep them going. So that's my saying. You know, that's my saying. So.
I mean, I think barbershops are the last frontier of the community. I mean, you know, you guys are the glue that you know, holds the community together. Like you said, there's no neighbor in the hood, and the barbershop is the only neighborhood in the hood.
We need more communication in general. You know, just if I see you and we need more warm currents between men. You know what I mean? Instead of, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? Hey, how you doing, brother? You know what I mean? I learned that from being a coach. You know what I mean? I like talking to real men. You know, there's not a lot of that to me on a high scale of just communication like that.
Again, we all have a responsibility, and I accept that responsibility to be a positive force in our community.